Hello, my name is Steve, and I have an unboxing of some APBA Goodness. I ordered this maybe late Tuesday, early Wednesday. And by early Wednesday, I'm talking just after midnight, so late Tuesday. Something they wouldn't have seen until they got into the office Wednesday morning. So,
it's actually your anniversary gift.
yes, this is my anniversary gift. My wife got me a couple gift cards, and
That's for putting up with me for 16 years.
that's the easy part.
Oh, you know just the right things to say.
You know good and well that I'm not just saying that. We have a good time together. We laugh a lot. We've been through a lot, but we laugh a lot.
We
So
pick on each other all the time.
I wouldn't call it picking. I would say it's more
Pushing
like
buttons.
nurturing. Nurturing. I'm real big on nurturing. Okay. So, first box is 1944 baseball cards.
I like how you scratched out the address. It's like anybody can search
Yeah,
the
I know.
name in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and be
They
like,
could also probably search the tracking number. I'm not that smart, okay, people? 1964.
what's BM?
Baseball master, I guess, or it could be bowel movement.
I know what it is in medical terms.
1948. This is the one I'm really excited about. And 1934. I'm excited about that one too. There's not a chair over here anymore. Anyway,
Well, I tried to declutter.
declutter.
Because
I'm the opposite of declutter.
yes.
I am Captain Clutter. Kind of like Captain Caveman, only I do it with stuff. Okay. This is the 34. See, the box is so small, they only put tape going around the sides. So that probably helps me in some manner. Okay, and with 1934, who do we want to look at? Dizzy Dean. So let's see, the Cardinals, if their Cardinals are in front, that's Pittsburgh, so they would be after Pittsburgh. And I'm getting toward the end of Pittsburgh. Ah, there we go, Jay Hanna. Okay, I'm very close. Okay, so we have these are the Cardinals. Okay, and I'm not a Cardinals fan. I'm probably the exact opposite. We got Rip Collins, who was possibly the MVP that year with what looks to be 1,008 OPS. That's me doing arithmetic in my head, so don't trust that. We have Spud Davis, who I believe played for the Reds either before or after that. Here we go, Jay Hanna, Dizzy Dean. One of my favorite players. I remember reading a book about him when I was in grade school, probably. His brother, Paul Lee Daffy Dean. There's his card.
Where did they get those names from, Dizzy and Daffy?
Probably from Arkansas, where I believe they were from. Yeah, Lucas, Arkansas. Leo DeRocher. He's a 9. He did actually get 2 1s on his card. Both of them in the second column. That's 66 and 11. He does have a second column 5. So for him hitting 3 home runs and 500 at bats, maybe. Frankie Frisch, I believe he came to the Cardinals from the New York Giants. Pop Haynes, Bill Hallahan. 1930 was when they had the card of the guy, and I can't think of his name. But he was a good ball player. Ernie Orsatti, Jack Rothrock, Dazzy Vance.
Dizzy, Dazzy, Daffy.
Yes. Let's see here. Whitey Whitehead. That's one of those creative nicknames. Anyway, there's the Cardinals. They played the Tigers in the World Series.
Serious?
Seriously. Let's see. There's Cleveland, which is probably right before Detroit. I guess part of the reason I get so excited about a lot of these older seasons is I've always been a reader of baseball books, and back when I was I was born in 65, so learned to read in 1970, 71. And a lot of the best reading in our school library was from the 30s, 40s, and even 50s. So that's why I like reading about all these players, and now I can play games with them in APBA. We got Eldon Alker. He's a BZ. We have Tommy Bridges, who is a BY. Let's see here. Mickey Cochran. He had eight stolen bases. He's a catcher 9, hit .320. That's a pretty stout card. That's a 840 OPS. And he was only 31 that year, so he was getting past his prime. Let's see. We have... Here are some of the inconsequentials. Charlie Gehringer, he hit .356. He had a 967 OPS. That's a pretty stout card. And what's fun, these OPSs, being high as they are, he only had 11 home runs, but I'm sure he was an absolute doubles machine, which that's always fun. Goose Goslin, he hit .305. He had I don't know what this was, something like a 826 OPS. I don't know. My arithmetic skills aren't what they used to be. Hank Greenberg, he was a solid player. Hit .339, 1004 OPS. Now, I know they had a couple other pitchers down in the latter part of the... There's Furpo Marbury.
Bobby's finishing her food finally.
Yeah. Oh, Schoolboy Rowe, he's a BYZ. That's pretty good. He was 24 years old, so he's fairly young at that. Let's see. That might be Schubel, Heine Schubel. He was from Houston, Texas. Vic Sorrell. G. Walker. JoJo White. And Rudy York was a rookie. He was always one of my favorite players. I think I read a story about him in the Strange But True Baseball Stories, maybe, something like that. Like I say, I used to read a whole lot. So, but yeah, this is 34. That's just a fun season. I played on Baseball for Windows. I replayed the 1934 St. Louis Cardinals, and I believe the Cardinals won the season, maybe the World Series. I don't remember all that. So these 48 cards I have the original printing, I believe. It may have been from like 2010 or something, but it's not the original first time offering printing, but it was a fairly new printing of the cards. And but I don't think it had master symbols, which that is one of my goals, is to conquer the master game. I've been playing this game for 40 years, 44 years, and have never really ventured into the master game because the basic game is so good I didn't see the point. But there's a few things that the master game does that I've kind of wanted to do. So let's see here. This is the 48th season, so we want to look at the Boston Braves, which should be on top, I believe. Yes. And let's see, white. And then I will also want to look at the Cleveland Indians. I think this might have been the Spawn Insane and Pray for Rain. I know Bob Elliott was a good player. At some point, he may have won an MVP. I don't know my MVPs that well before 1951. Tommy Holmes, he was a good player. Let's see here. Phil Massey. Frank McCormick. He might have played with the Reds. Now he's from New York. And here's Mike McCormick, but he's from California. So I'm thinking they may not be brothers, although they were born 6 years apart, so you never know. Nels Potter, Jim Russell, Connie Ryan, no relation. There's Johnny Sane. He's a AZ. And Warren Spahn, he's a BZ. Eddie Stanky, he had a pretty good card. Bobby Sturgeon, Earl Torgerson, Bill Voisell, he's a B. Ernie White, he's a B reliever, but I think he had a W. Yeah, he had a W. Okay, so there's the other team I wanted to look at was the Cleveland Indians. There's the White Sox. Cleveland, here we go. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's see, we got Gene Bearden. He's just a straight A. We have Johnny Bernardino. He was on, was it Young and the Restless, maybe? I don't know. He was a soap opera guy. Maybe it was General Hospital. Might have been General Hospital because I think he was a doctor. Lou Boudreau. Now, he had a very good card. That's a 977 OPS. So that's pretty good. And he's a 10 on defense, even though he's slow. Russ Christopher, he's an A reliever. Larry Doby, he had a 874 OPS, it looks like. We got Bob Feller. He, wow, 280 innings with 164 strikeouts. That doesn't seem like a whole lot compared to what Nolan Ryan was doing, but he was 30 at that point. He turned 30 at the end of the season.
Nolan Ryan is only 6.
Well, I'm talking about
the human.
Lynn Nolan Ryan, the pitcher who's in the Hall of Fame. Joe Gordon, I believe, was MVP that year, but I'm not totally positive. Steve Gromick, he's a B reliever. He's a B starter. Okay. Jim Hegan, he's a 9 catcher. Now, Ken Keltner, he was the third baseman who pretty much stopped Joe DiMaggio's 41-game hitting streak, or 56-game hitting streak in 1941. Edward Kleiman, he's an A reliever. I'm guessing he wore glasses with a nickname like Specs. Bob Lemon, he was a pitcher. And let's see here. We got Satchel Paige. That's another good one. I believe he was uniform number 29, maybe with the Indians. Not totally positive. Let's see. So I'm sure I'll look forward to playing some games with those as well. Okay, which other one do I have here? 1944. Now this is a good set because most of the guys that had gone to war were gone. I believe the Yankees, was that the year the Yankees? No, it might have been the two St. Louis teams played in the World Series, the Browns and the Cardinals. And I've done all my background work, but I'm wanting to do a 1945 replay because the Browns finished second, and I'm thinking I can manage them to the World Series. They were only like, even though they might have finished third, but they were only 6 or 7 games behind Detroit. So 44, let's look up the Browns, which will be right back here. There's the A's. St. Louis. Let's see what Al Simmons. He must have been called back to play after World War II started and they lost all the players. He only had 6 at bats, but he hit 500, 3 hits. So that's not bad for a relic at that point. Let me, I got to know, how old was he at that point? He was born in 1902, so he was 42. In baseball terms, that's a relic. Let's see, Wilkins, okay. There's those 2 guys. Let's just pull the back of these out. And Zoldak, he was just on that. He might have been on that Indians team I was looking at. Okay. So we got the Browns here. We will take a quick gander at them. Let's see. We have a George Castor. He's a B reliever with an X. Denny Galehouse. He's a CXZ starter. Sig Jakucki. He's a CYZ starter. Jack Kramer, he's a BY starter. Mike Krevich, he's a 2 outfielder, hit 301. Had a 753 on OPS. And let's see here. Bob Moncrief, he's a BYZ starter. Nels Potter is a BY starter. We have Schulte and Schultz. Neither one of them played much. Tex Shirley is a CYW starter. Junior Stevens. Now he ended up, I think, playing for the Red Sox later on. Smokey Sundra, he's a BZ starter, but he only had 22 innings. And let's see here. They have 2 Z players, Zarilla and Zoldak. That's fairly rare that you get that many players with Z names. Let's see, we got Pittsburgh and then the Cardinals. There's the G, so let's knock that down. Okay. So we got John Antonelli. Grabbed off a few too many players there. Okay. Well, there's Joe Cronin. He was 38 and just played first base for the Red Sox. He might have been a player manager at that point with not a bunch of playing. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Okay, these are the St. Louis Cardinals. We got John Antonelli. I was thinking of maybe Joe Antonelli. Maybe that could have been a pitcher. We got Harry the Cat Brichin. He's a BXE starter. Mort Cooper's a BYZ starter. Walker Cooper is the starting catcher. He had a 856 OPS. That's pretty good. Blix Donnelly, he's a BX starter. This is the name I've always liked. Debs Garms, or Jarms. I think it's Garms. He, that just always a funny name. Let's see. Waddy Karowski, I think he was, yeah, he's a starting third baseman, it looks like. I think he had a little better card than 42, maybe. Max Lanier, he's a BX starter. Marty Marion, he's a 9 shortstop. Had a 686 OPS. That's not great, but he might have been MVP that year, or maybe 42. And he was MVP one year, but it had to be for fielding because he was never a really great hitter. Red Munger is a AX starter. Here's Stan the Man Musial. And is that it? Yeah. Oh, here we go. Ted Wilkes. He's a BYZ starter. So they've got a solid pitching staff. So that should be fun to play some games with. And I'm not going to open the 64 ones right now. That would lend itself toward looking at the Yankees and Cardinals. And 64 was that great pennant race where the Phillies choked And the Cardinals, on the strength of that Lou Brock trade, won the pennant. So, anyway, that's my APBA haul. And I look forward to playing games with those cards. And thanks a lot, and have a good day.